Section 6.3 is on income statements. We have a lot of new terms here and some forms here as well. Remember, those forms can be found, the blank versions, on the calendar, okay, under the red thing that says links to tax forms needed for Chapter 6. Gross pay. This is your total pay prior to any deduction. So you get a contract, say you make $50,000 per year. That is your gross pay, $50,000, and then obviously from there taxes will be taken out. Net pay, take-home pay, this is your pay after all your deductions. So insurance, taxes, Social Security, all that kind of stuff taken out, that's your net pay. Form W-4, this is a form that you fill out when you get a job. It tells the government or your employer how much tax to take out. Withholdings taxes. This is the actual tax that is withheld from your paycheck and is paid to the government. Form W-2, at the end of the year, you get a form that basically summarizes all of your annual pay and your withholdings. This is sent to you by your employer by a specific date that's set by the government. Form 1099, this is an additional form for income earned from interest, dividends, if you have stocks, capital gains, etc., student loan interest, things like that. This is a form that's sent to you that will adjust your income that is being taxed. Tax deferred contributions, this is typically money that is sent to a retirement account. Some examples are Roth IRA, a 401k, or a 403b. And cafeteria plan and flexible spending, FSA, flex spending accounts. These are accounts where employees can put pre-tax money into a specific account, and out of that account you can pay for different things such as medical bills, child care, any prescription drugs that you need to pick up. So it's kind of like a savings account that helps you pay for specific things. So if you need to pause the video to copy down those definitions, please do so. And we'll refer to those definitions in our examples. Number 1 says, Joe makes an hourly wage of $8.10. For hours he worked over 40 hours, he is paid a rate of $12.15 per hour. Last week, Joe worked 45 hours. What is Joe's gross pay for this period? Okay, so gross pay, you take your hourly wage of $8.10. So $8.10, and he worked 45 hours. So for the first 40 hours, he makes $8.10. So $8.10 times 40, and he worked 5 hours of overtime in this case because 45 total hours. So 5 times $12.15 for his overtime. Multiply those out just as you see it in the calculator. So $8.10 times 40 plus 5 times $12.15 gives you a total of $384.75. What is Joe's Social Security deduction? Remember, Social Security is going to be 6.2%. Okay, we kind of hit on that in a previous section, but Social Security is always 6.2%. So you take your gross pay, which is $384.75, and you multiply that by 6.2% as a decimal, which in this case is 0.062. Remember, move it 2 places to the left. So $384.75 times 0.062 gives you a Social Security amount of $23.85. Medicare tax deduction. Medicare is 1.45%. Again, those are 2 numbers, Social Security and Medicare. Those are 2 percentages that you should know, okay, because we'll be kind of hitting on those all semester. So again, you take your gross, $384.75, times 1.45% as a decimal, which is 0.0145. Multiply those together, $384.75 times 0.0145 gives you a Medicare value of $5.50 8 cents. You want to round that 7 up to an 8. Okay? You're always going to pay the more into the system. Joe's other deductions are federal tax $61.12, state tax $21.03, city's tax, retirement insurance, disability, medical insurance, and dental insurance. What are Joe's total deductions for this pay period? So guys, all you really do for this one is just add up all of these numbers. These are all deductions, so you add up all these. Federal tax plus state tax plus city tax plus retirement plus disability plus medical plus dental. Add all of those numbers up. So $61.12 plus $21.03 plus 6.01 plus 4.12 plus 1.31 plus 13.05 plus 5.46 gives you total deductions of $112.10. Okay. Now, they're looking for the total deduction. So for these extra deductions, it's $112.10. But you have to add on your Social Security and your Medicare as well. So add those on. So $112.10 plus 23.85 plus 5.58 gives you a total deduction of a $141.53. Again, add on your Social Security. So plus 23.85 plus 558 gives you a total of 141.53. Okay. Now it's asking for Joe's net pay. So you take your gross, which is $384.75, minus all of your deductions, which we just found out in Part D here, minus 141.53, and that'll give you your net pay. 384.75 minus 141.53 gives you a net pay of 243.22. Okay. Letter F, I should say. If Joe pays the same amount for medical insurance each weekly pay period, what is his annual premium? So he pays, if you look back at problem D, he pays for medical insurance $13.05 per pay period. He gets paid per week, so there are 52 weeks in a year, so times 52. So his total premium, $13.05 times 52, gives you a total premium of $678.60. Okay, and again, it says in the problem here, weekly pay. So that's why we multiplied it by 52. Part G. Does Joe receive time and a half, double time, or triple time for each hour of overtime? Okay, so you're going to take your overtime pay, which again we listed above in the top part. He is paid at a rate of $12.15 per hour for overtime, so $12.15 per hour for overtime. And we divide that by his regular pay, which is $8.10. So remember, he makes $8.10 for his first 40 hours of pay, and he makes $12.15 for every hour after that. So you take your overtime pay, overtime versus your regular pay, divide that, so $12.15 divided by $8.10 gives you a decimal of 1.5. So that means he earns time and a half. 1.5 is time and a half. 1 would be regular time. 1.5 is time and a half. 2.0 would be double time. 3.0 would be triple time. Number 2 says see page 354. Number 4, use the partial information given on the electronic W-2 form to calculate the amount in box 1. Okay, so number 4 says use the partial information given on Leslie's electronic W-2 form. See question 3. So we are looking right here. Okay, we're looking right here in our textbook. That's an electronic W-2. All right. I also posted on the calendar a W-2 explained, all the different boxes. We'll hit on these different boxes, but if you want to see where everything is at one time, I did post that for you. Okay, so it says we're going to calculate the amount in box 1. Box 1 is right here at the top. Okay, here's box 1. It says wages, tips, and compensation. This is how much money you are earning. Okay, this is how much money you are earning and how much money you're taxed on. So what we do there is we're going to use box 5 here. Box 5 is your Medicare wages and tips. This is how much your gross pay is, so that you can figure out what your Medicare cost is going to be. So that number kind of tells you the whole story. So we're going to start with our $73,094. Okay. And we are going to subtract off the other two values in our W-2. So we're going to subtract off this value here, which is how much money you put into a retirement fund. Box 12 is how much you put into a retirement fund, so you're not taxed on that. So you're going to subtract off your $1,900. Okay, and this box 14 here, these are other costs that we need to deduct. Okay, so 12 and 14 we deduct from our income because we're not taxed on that money. So you're going to subtract off your $4,500. So $73,094 minus $1,900 minus $4,500 gives you a total taxable income of $66,694. That would go in box 1. That's how much money you are being taxed on for that year. Okay, you're not going to be taxed on your total money because you're moving money around. You're putting money in a retirement system. Maybe you're not taxed on that. You're putting money for other things. Maybe it's childcare. You're not taxed on that. Okay, so when you move money around, you're not taxed on all of your specific amounts. And we'll dive more into the W-2 here a little bit, but that's just a little bit of a preview there for your W-2 form. So I'm going to pause part 1 and we're going to pick up with part 2.